Welcome into NFL in a Flash, new video blog here on Sports Radio WNML. With Joel Silverberg, I am Eric Cain, and we're going to hit you with the important things you need to know about the NFL from this past weekend and moving forward. Joel, let's go ahead and start with the regional team, the Tennessee Titans. A tough loss on the road in Miami. It was a rain-soaked day, NFL's longest game, a couple of rain delays, but not a good look for the Titans to start out the season.
It was the longest day in Titans history in more ways than one. Mariota goes down. You already didn't have your starting right tackle in Jack Conklin. Then you lose your starting left tackle in Taylor Lewan. Now Delanie Walker, your best receiving target, is out for the season with a broken ankle. So it's not a good start for the Titans. A game that they had chances to win to in Miami on the road. Now you turn around, the schedule doesn't get any easier as you get ready to face Jacksonville this upcoming weekend.
A lot of new faces for Tennessee. Malcolm Butler, a new free safety. Dion Lewis, a bright spot on offense. He ran hard. But overall, the running game early on couldn't really get anything going. And Mariota, when he was in there, still struggled with turnovers.
Yeah, that was odd to me. I thought that Derrick Henry would have been able to get things going, and instead it was Dion Lewis who was actually getting the bulk of the carries, even in between the tackles. The smaller running back for Tennessee, he was a really good receiving target. Did a nice job at stepping up offensively after Delanie Walker went down, but very odd. I would have thought we would have seen more success out of the running game. The RPO ultimately is what got Mariota hurt. Couldn't really throw the ball well. Blaine Gabbert wasn't able to do much better, so it's an unfortunate day offensively for Tennessee, and now they're going to have to regroup.
17-game losing streak halts for the Cleveland Browns, but their winless streak increases to 18 games, a tie ball game in Week 1 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Were you surprised that the Browns tied the Steelers?
Well, yeah, I think we're surprised anytime we see a tie in the NFL, and normally I hate the tie, but this was probably the first time in my life that I've seen a tie in an NFL game and thought, yeah, that's appropriate, I'm okay with that. Pittsburgh turns the ball over 5 times, Cleveland has chance after chance to win the game, the missed field goal at the end of overtime. It was a very fitting end to a really ugly game. I thought James Conner played really well. Browns defense did enough for their team to win, but the offense got going way too late. Tyrod Taylor probably needed to get the passing game going sooner. He made big plays with his legs, but I think we're seeing that the Browns still have a long way to go.
It was 1 week, but James Conner, 132 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns in place of Le'Veon Bell. Heard some whispers that maybe Le'Veon Bell would come back to the team before the end of September. Now, maybe not till Week 10, so he can cash in to get paid in the offseason. The whole saga with Le'Veon Bell, what's your take on that whole thing?
I just, when a guy is still in the prime of his career as a running back, you would think that he would want to go out there and do all that he can. And the money that he's made already with past franchise tags and what he's done in previous contracts, you would just think at this point, it's getting astronomical with contracts, and seeing what happens with Aaron Rodgers and Khalil Mack, those things don't necessarily help Taylor Lewan over the offseason. And so every player wants to get paid because they believe that they're the best at their position, and Le'Veon Bell probably is, especially because of how good of a receiving threat he is out of the backfield. And it's unfortunate for Pittsburgh because really the AFC only has 3 teams realistically going into the season that you could say, yeah, they've got a shot to win the conference. Pittsburgh's one of those teams, and without Le'Veon Bell, it's much more difficult for them to do that.
Sam Darnold made his NFL debut last night. The youngest quarterback since 1950, I believe, to start a game in the National Football League. His first pass, want to forget, a pick 6, but he rebounded, had a pair of touchdowns, 176 yards throwing. The Jets, they looked really good on defense, destroying the Lions.
Yeah, overreaction maybe, potentially, in Week 1. Matthew Stafford had a rough night, got banged up early on in the first half, was hobbling around on one leg for a while, seemed to be okay, but 4 interceptions on the night. That's not a good start for him. Sam Darnold threw the ball well. I think they've got to get Robbie Anderson into the game a little bit more. What they tried to do with him in the running game, I thought, wasn't really working. Only caught 1 pass on the night. They need to use him over the top because he is a big play receiving threat for them. So if Sam Darnold can learn to utilize him more in the passing game, then I think they can be a lot more successful.
Something we want to do at the end of our video blog every single week is give you a player that stuck out to us, our playmaker of the week. And for me, Joel, it was Ryan Fitzpatrick getting the start for Jameis Winston, Tampa Bay in a shootout against the New Orleans Saints where they win 48-40, surprisingly. 21-28, 413 yards, 4 touchdowns for Fitz. That's quite the showing from a veteran quarterback. Who was your playmaker of the week?
I would say it's Tyreek Hill because he made a play immediately on special teams. And it's funny because we've seen this from him before. It doesn't surprise anybody. Made a big play for Patrick Mahomes. in the passing game as well as Patrick Mahomes' first passing touchdown. So he did it all for them, was making insane catches in traffic, and he's willing to go out and do it all, and he has game-breaking speed. So Tyreek Hill continuing what he's done the past couple of seasons in Kansas City. I thought he had a great game against the Los Angeles Chargers.
Ball for life. Alvin Kamara also 3 touchdowns in that loss to Tampa Bay in that blowout game. Hey, this has been NFL in a Flash. He's Joel Silverberg. I'm Eric Cain, and we'll catch you next week right here on Sports Radio WNML.